I'm Ethan Carter, about to turn 32, and I've had a peaceful marriage for 5 years. Our son Liam Carter just celebrated his 4th birthday not long ago. In the early years after we got married, I worked full-time, but now I've shifted to a part-time job at a small office in the Sorrento Valley Tech Hub, the same area where my wife works. My wife, Sophie Bennett, is 30 years old, 2 years younger than me. Our love story began with Sophie's bold pursuit, but after marriage, I gradually noticed that she became more controlling and demanding in our shared life. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe, so you won't miss the latest stories. Sophie has a 23-year-old brother named Ryan Bennett, and the age gap between them seems to make Sophie overly indulgent toward him. Before we got married, I didn't mind Ryan's frequent visits, thinking they were just close. But after starting a family, I began to notice changes in his behavior. Our modern but modest home in La Jolla, San Diego, was once a haven filled with laughter. Liam, with his radiant smile and clear eyes, is my light. I love how he holds my hand when we stroll through Kate Sessions Park. But now Ryan's presence has turned everything upside down. Sophie works part-time at a fashion store in the UTC shopping district, and she often comes home with stories about her wealthy friends, complaining that I don't earn enough to live like them. What she doesn't know is that I'm the CEO of a multi-million-dollar AI tech startup. I've hidden this role because Sophie isn't good with money, and I wanted to keep our family life simple. I thought this secret would protect us, but now I'm starting to doubt that decision. Ryan is the root of all the trouble. He shows up unannounced, sometimes early in the morning or in the middle of the night, acting like the house belongs to him. Ryan never brings a thank you, only demands. He'll plop onto the sofa, ask Sophie to cook, or turn to me for beer, money, or whatever he wants. Sophie always defends Ryan, no matter what he does. If I complain, she says I lack family spirit, or don't understand Ryan's situation. I know Ryan isn't struggling. He's just lazy, and spends money like water at the Verona casino. But Sophie won't listen. She puts Ryan above everyone, even Liam, our sensitive boy who quietly plays with his toy cars in the corner. That evening, I came home exhausted after a long day, pretending to be an office worker in Sorrento Valley, wanting nothing more than to rest. Liam was playing quietly on the rug with his little toy cars, and Sophie was busy in the kitchen. The door swung open abruptly. Ryan walked in without knocking, his crumpled t-shirt and familiar smirk in place. "Sophie, I'm starving. Make some steak," he said, his tone commanding, then turned to me, sneering. "Ethan, you didn't cook anything. This house is so dull." I took a deep breath to stay calm, explaining that I'd just gotten home and hadn't had time to prepare anything. But Sophie, for some reason, turned on me. "Ethan, can't you be a bit more thoughtful? Ryan's a guest. You should have prepared something." Ryan laughed loudly, slapped Sophie's shoulder playfully, and sprawled on the sofa like he owned the place. Liam looked up at me, his eyes full of worry. I smiled to reassure him, though anger was rising inside me. Sophie went back to the kitchen, chatting lively with her brother, leaving me standing there, silent and out of place in my own home. From that day on, Ryan wasn't just an occasional visitor. He became an inseparable part of our house, though no one invited him. He came by regularly, acting like he owned the place, and each visit made the atmosphere heavier. Sophie didn't seem to notice. To her, Ryan was always the poor brother who needed care, attention, and a nice dinner every time he dropped by. And me, the one trying to hold everything together, was seen as not thoughtful enough, not good enough. Not enough of anything. Even Liam's anxious looks, watching me with unease, broke my heart. In our home, I was slowly becoming a shadow, silent, enduring, and fading into the background. Ryan never gave a heads up before showing up. One time, I just put Liam to bed when he knocked, demanding Sophie cook something tasty because he was starving. Another time, he appeared while I was fixing Liam's toy car, asking me to grab a beer from the fridge or hand over a few bucks to meet friends. Ryan never asked permission. Never said thank you. He'd plop onto the sofa, turn the TV up loud, or talk noisily on the phone about his bets at the Verona casino, as if Liam and I didn't exist. I tried to stay patient, but seeing Liam shrink into the corner with his toy cars, his eyes worried, made my heart ache. Liam didn't say anything, but I knew he felt the tension in the house. Sophie not only failed to stop Ryan, but encouraged him. If I complained, she'd frown and call me selfish or unsympathetic. "Ryan's going through a tough time, Ethan. Can't you help a little?" she'd say, her tone full of blame. I wanted to shout that Ryan wasn't struggling, that he was just lazy and addicted to gambling, but I held back because I didn't want Liam to hear us argue. Sophie seemed blind to how Ryan treated me like a servant or ignored Liam. not even bothering to acknowledge his recent birthday. To Sophie, Ryan was the center of the universe, while Liam and I were mere shadows in our own home. One evening, I was about to bathe Liam when Sophie called from the living room. "Ethan, Ryan's here. Come keep him company." I sighed, wiped my hands, and walked out to find Ryan on the sofa, feet on the table, scrolling through his phone. "Sophie, I want steak, but throw in some fries this time," he said without looking up. Then he turned to me, smirking. "Ethan, Sophie says you've got good beer. Grab me one." I said I was busy with Liam, but Sophie cut me off. "Ethan, it's just a moment. Can't you let Ryan wait?" I swallowed my anger, grabbed a beer from the fridge, and set it in front of Ryan. He didn't thank me, just popped it open and chugged. It didn't stop there. Ryan suddenly said, "Sophie, tomorrow's my friend's birthday. I need a fancy bottle of wine to gift. Ethan, can you go buy it for me?" I was stunned. It was late and Liam was waiting. I refused, saying the liquor store near UTC was closed. Sophie frowned, her voice sharp. "Ethan, you always make excuses. Ryan needs help. Can't you be a bit more thoughtful?" Ryan laughed, clapping Sophie's hand. "Exactly, sis. Ethan's such a bore." My blood boiled, but seeing Liam at the doorway, clutching his toy car, I held back. "Fine," I said, my voice low. "I'll go buy it. Liam, come with Dad." "Okay." I took Liam to the car and drove to a 24-hour liquor store in Pacific Beach. In the car, Liam asked, "Dad, why does Uncle Ryan always make you do stuff?" I smiled, ruffled his hair, and said I just wanted everyone to be happy. But my heart was heavy. At the store, I let Liam pick a small toy, a red toy car, to cheer him up. While waiting to pay, I overheard Sophie's call through the Bluetooth earpiece I'd left at home. "Ryan, don't worry," she said. "Ethan's always slow, never thoughtful. Marrying him was a mistake." Ryan laughed loudly. "Sis, just ditch him. This house would be way more fun with just you and me." I stood frozen, clutching the wine bottle. Liam looked up, asking, "Dad, you okay?" I forced a smile, saying I was fine, but inside, I felt betrayed. On the drive back, I tried chatting with Liam about his new toy car, but Sophie and Ryan's words echoed in my mind. When we got home, I set the wine in front of Ryan. He grabbed it without a thank you and kept talking to Sophie. Sophie glanced at me, saying, "Next time, be quicker, Ethan." I nodded, but inside, my anger and pain were growing. I tried to stay calm for Liam, but as days passed, I saw my 4-year-old son hurting from the family tension. Liam, whose radiant smile once lit up our La Jolla home, now spoke less. He'd cling to me during bedtime stories, as if afraid I'd disappear. I knew he sensed the rift between Sophie and me, though he was too young to understand it fully. My secret as the CEO of a tech company in Sorrento Valley remained a burden, but I wasn't ready to reveal it, fearing Sophie would exploit it to indulge Ryan even more. Ryan kept showing up, each visit making the air heavier. He didn't just demand food but acted like Liam and I didn't exist. Once, while I was playing with Liam at Kate Sessions Park, Ryan called Sophie to bring food to a bar in Pacific Beach. She didn't hesitate, leaving dinner half-cooked to rush off. When I asked why she prioritized Ryan over Liam, she glared at me and said, "You don't get it, Ethan. Ryan needs his sister." I swallowed my anger, but seeing Liam quietly stacking his toy cars in the corner, my heart broke. I tried to comfort him with small moments, like taking him for ice cream at UTC and buying the red toy car he hugged every night. One evening, I'd just bathed Liam and was about to tuck him in when Ryan showed up again. He walked in without knocking and plopped onto the sofa. "Sophie, I'm hungry. Make something," he said, his tone commanding. Sophie, in the kitchen, replied, "I'm making steak." "Ethan, grab Ryan a beer." I sighed, saying I was busy with Liam. Ryan smirked. "Sophie, Ethan's useless. Doesn't do anything for you." Before I could respond, Sophie stepped out, knife in hand, frowning at me. "Ethan, can't you help a bit? Ryan's a guest. You should be thoughtful." I reluctantly grabbed a beer, but when I returned, I saw Ryan holding Liam's red toy car, the gift I'd bought to comfort him. "This is cool," Ryan said, tossing it around. Liam, at the doorway, eyes tearing up, shouted, "That's my car," his voice trembling. I stepped forward, trying to stay calm. "Ryan, give Liam his car back. It's his." Ryan laughed, tossing the car onto the table. "This kid doesn't need fancy toys. Let me have it, Sophie." Instead of defending Liam, Sophie turned to me. "Ethan, it's just a toy. Don't make a big deal. If Ryan likes it, let him take it." I was stunned, feeling slapped in the face. No, I said, my voice firm. The car is Liam's. Ryan can't have it. Sophie scowled, her tone sharp. Ethan, you're always selfish. If you won't support Ryan, do you think this family needs you? Let's get a divorce. I don't need you. Her words cut like a knife. Liam ran to me, grabbing my hand, tears in his eyes. Dad, I don't want you to go, he sobbed. I knelt, hugging him, hiding my pain. I'm not going anywhere, Liam, I whispered. But inside, I knew things were falling apart. Ryan laughed, slapping Sophie's shoulder. You're right, sis. Ditch him. I'm enough for this house. Sophie didn't respond, just went back to the kitchen, leaving Liam and me standing there. Liam, still holding my hand, said innocently, Dad, this red car looks like your car, right? I love it. His words touched me but deepened my pain. Liam was trying to cheer me up, though he was the one hurting. I smiled, ruffling his hair. Yeah, Liam, Dad loves your red car too. I took Liam to his room, tucked him in, but my heart was heavy. Sophie's words, let's get a divorce. I don't need you, echoed in my mind. I remembered our early marriage, when Sophie held my hand and laughed brightly. Now she only saw Ryan, while Liam and I were strangers. Watching Liam sleep, clutching his red car, I knew I had to protect him. But I didn't know where to start, only that my anger and pain were growing. The cracks in our family grew deeper. Liam, whose smile once brightened our home, now clung to his red toy car, like it was his only security. I knew he was hurting, and it hurt me more than Sophie's criticism. My CEO's secret at the Sorrento Valley Tech Company remained a burden, but I couldn't reveal it, fearing Sophie would use it to indulge Ryan further. Ryan kept coming, each visit escalating the tension. He didn't just demand food, but treated Liam and me like we didn't exist. Sophie, instead of protecting our son, sided with Ryan, making me feel like an outsider in my own home. I tried to keep the peace, but after Sophie's divorce threat, I suspected she wasn't just favoring Ryan, but planning something bigger. I decided to watch closely, especially the savings account I'd set up for Liam at Wells Fargo, a gift for his future, where I deposited money regularly, for college or his dreams. One morning I checked Liam's savings account through the bank app and my heart stopped. It was nearly empty. Over $1,000 money I'd saved for Liam was gone, leaving just a few bucks. I frantically checked the transaction history and saw a large transfer made days earlier to an unfamiliar account. I called the bank, and they confirmed Sophie had withdrawn the money, using her joint access. I was stunned, feeling betrayed. How would Liam, who dreamed of using his savings to buy a bike for Dad, feel if he knew? I found Liam in the living room, playing with his red toy car. Liam, do you remember your savings account? I asked, my voice shaky. He looked up, eyes sparkling. Yeah, I want to buy a bike for Dad. Is there enough yet? I knelt, hugging him, unsure how to explain. I'll check, okay, I said, my heart heavy. When Liam ran outside to play with his car, I searched Sophie's dresser for clues. In a corner, I found a transfer receipt, confirming she'd sent the money to Ryan. I realized she'd taken Liam's savings to pay Ryan's gambling debts, as she always did. I confronted Sophie when she got home from UTC. Sophie, why did you take Liam's savings? I asked, trying to stay calm. She frowned, crossing her arms. Ryan needed it urgently, Ethan. He owed people at the Barona casino. Liam's young, he doesn't need that money now. I was floored, feeling slapped. That's Liam's money, I shouted, breaking my patience for the first time. You had no right to give it to Ryan. Sophie glared, her voice cold. You're too selfish, Ethan. If you won't help my family, you're not fit to be my husband. I turned away, trying to control my anger, but while grabbing Liam's things in the bedroom, I found papers hidden under Sophie's clothes. It was a divorce petition, already filled out, with notes about splitting assets. I was shocked, realizing Sophie had been planning this, thinking I was just an ordinary worker with nothing valuable. She didn't know I was a CEO, that my real assets were in a separate account, but that didn't ease the pain. Sophie wanted to leave me, take shared assets, and keep indulging Ryan. Sophie walked in, seeing me with the papers. That's right, Ethan, she said, her voice harsh. You're a fool who never gets me. Sign it and get out. I don't need you anymore. I looked at her, feeling the wife I loved was gone. Liam ran in, eyes teary, seeing us argue. Dad, Mom, stop fighting, he cried, hugging my leg. I knelt, hugging him, my heart breaking. I'm sorry, Liam, I whispered, but I knew I couldn't stay. Sophie, you're wrong, I said, my voice trembling. I won't sign, and I'll protect Liam. I picked up Liam, grabbed a few things, and drove away from La Jolla, heading to my parents' house in Oceanside, 40 miles away. Liam sat in the back, clutching his red toy car, asking, "Dad, did I do something wrong?" I smiled through tears. "No, you're the best thing in Dad's life." On the drive, I thought of Sophie's words, the divorce papers, and Liam. I had to protect my son, but Sophie's betrayal still choked me. Looking at Liam in the rearview mirror, I vowed he'd never hurt again. The I-5 freeway stretched ahead, city lights fading as we headed north. Liam was quiet, occasionally asking, "Dad, where are we going?" I ruffled his hair from the front seat, saying to Grandma and Grandpa's Liam, "You'll play with their dog Max." He nodded, but I knew he was worried. The tension from our fights and Sophie's divorce threat had left marks on his small face. I blamed myself for not shielding him sooner, for enduring Ryan's selfishness and Sophie's favoritism too long. When we reached Oceanside, my parents were waiting at the door. James, with his gray hair and kind smile, scooped Liam up as he stepped out. Clara, with gentle eyes, hugged me tightly, sensing my pain without a word. They led us inside, the smell of fresh cookies wafting from the kitchen. Liam smiled for the first time that day when Max ran up, licking his hand. I sank onto the sofa, feeling like I'd returned to a safe haven after a storm. My parents didn't press me to talk, but I knew I needed to share. While Liam played with Max in the backyard, I told them everything. Sophie took money from Liam's savings to give to Ryan. I began, my voice shaky. She withdrew over $1,000, money I saved for his future. When I confronted her, she said Ryan needed it more than Liam. Then I found divorce papers she'd hidden, with notes about splitting assets. James shook his head, gripping my hand. "Ethan, you don't deserve this." Clara, eyes teary, said Liam's our grandson. "You have to protect him." I nodded, but my heart was a mess. "I suspect Sophie and Ryan are after my personal savings account," I said. "They think I'm just an ordinary worker, not knowing I have significant assets." James frowned. "Do you have a plan yet?" I shook my head, admitting I wasn't sure where to start. "I just want Liam safe," I said. Clara stroked my hair, like when I was a kid. "You did right, bringing Liam here. We'll figure it out together." Her words eased me, but I still worried about the future. I never imagined facing divorce or betrayal from the wife I loved. To clear my mind, I took Liam to Oceanside Beach the next morning. He ran on the sand, laughing as we built a sandcastle. "Dad, this castle's as big as our house, right?" he asked, eyes sparkling. I laughed, nodding, sense of peace creeping in. We played, skipping stones into the sea, and I tried to forget Sophie's harsh words. But when Liam hugged me, saying, "Dad, I like being here with you and Grandma and Grandpa," I knew he was hiding fear. Liam understood we couldn't return to La Jolla, to Sophie. Back at my parents' house, I got a text from Sophie. "Ethan, come back. We need to talk," she wrote. I stared at it, but didn't reply. Sophie might regret it, or she just wanted to manipulate me. I no longer trusted her. In the living room, I held Liam, who was asleep with his red toy car. I thought of the divorce papers, Liam's savings, and Ryan's selfishness. I suspected Sophie and Ryan were after my bank card or asset documents, thinking I had nothing valuable. They didn't know about my company, my secure Chase account. Clara brought me hot tea, sitting beside me. "Ethan, do you think Sophie's after something else?" she asked. I nodded, saying, "Probably my personal savings account. I hid my CEO role because Sophie's bad with money, but now I think she and Ryan want everything." James, from across the room, said, "You need proof, Ethan. If Sophie's scheming, protect Liam and your assets." I agreed, but my heart was tangled. I knew I had to act. Sophie's betrayal still suffocated me. Watching Liam sleep, his face peaceful, I vowed to protect him, no matter what. Oceanside, with my parents and Max, was a temporary refuge, but I knew I'd have to return to La Jolla to face Sophie. I needed proof, a lawyer, and to ensure Liam would never hurt again. I kissed his forehead, whispering, "Dad will do everything for you, Liam." At my parents' warm Oceanside home, I felt a flicker of peace after leaving La Jolla and Sophie's pain. Liam, playing with Max in the backyard, his laughter easing my hurt, but I knew this peace was fleeting. Sophie had taken Liam's savings, prepared divorce papers, and I suspected she and Ryan were after my assets. I needed proof to expose Sophie's scheme and keep my son safe. That evening, I sat with my parents, James and Clara, in the living room. The smell of hot tea and cookies reminded me of childhood, But now I faced harsh reality. Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something. I began, voice low. I'm not just a part-time worker. I'm the CEO of a multi-million-dollar AI tech startup. James raised an eyebrow, while Clara gripped my hand, eyes proud yet worried. I hid it because Sophie's bad with money. I continued. She used to push for lavish spending, and I feared she'd use the money to spoil Ryan. Now I suspect they're after my personal Chase savings account, thinking I'm worthless. James nodded, eyes serious. Ethan, you need to protect your assets. If Sophie and Ryan are scheming, you need proof. Clara agreed. Liam's the priority, Ethan. Do everything to keep him from more pain. Their words strengthened my resolve. I recalled the divorce papers and transfer receipt I'd found. Sophie thought I was a nobody, unaware of my protected assets in a separate account. I needed to prove she and Ryan weren't just after Liam's money, but targeting everything I had. I decided to return to La Jolla to gather evidence. I need to record or find documents proving Sophie's intentions. I told my parents. James advised, be careful, Ethan. If Sophie knows you're onto her, she might act first. I nodded, drawing strength from their support. I contacted Michael Hayes, a Del Mar lawyer and close friend of my dad's, to prepare for legal action. Michael agreed to review the divorce papers and any evidence I collected, promising to help secure Liam's custody and my assets. The next day, I went back to the La Jolla house, while Sophie was at UTC. I left Liam with my parents for safety. In the living room, I checked the security camera I'd installed weeks earlier, suspecting Ryan might snoop. Sure enough, I found footage from days ago, showing Ryan entering when Sophie and I were out, rummaging through bedroom drawers. He grabbed some papers, shook his head in frustration, and left. I saved the video to a USB, knowing it was key evidence. I decided to confront Sophie to record her. When she got home, I acted calm, asking, Sophie, where else are you taking money from for Ryan? She glared, voice irritable. Ethan, you're always selfish. Ryan needs money to pay debts, and you have a savings account, right? Hand over the bank card. I'll handle Ryan. I secretly started recording on my phone, tucked in my pocket. You already drained Liam's account, I said, voice firm. What else are you after? Sophie sneered. You're worthless, Ethan. If you don't give money, I'll take the shared assets after the divorce. Ryan deserves more than you. Her words cut like a knife, but I had the proof I needed. I left the house without arguing, knowing the recording would help in court. Driving back to Oceanside, I called Michael Hayes, sending the recording and camera video via email. Michael, I have proof Sophie and Ryan are after my assets, I said. Prepare the paperwork to protect Liam and my personal assets. Michael reassured me, Ethan, you did great. I'll review and plan. You'll keep Liam. Back at my parents', I saw Liam drawing a picture of the sandcastle we built at Oceanside Beach. He looked up, smiling brightly. Dad, I drew this for you. I hugged him, feeling relief for the first time in days. I knew the road ahead would be tough, but with evidence and my parents' support, I was ready to face Sophie. I kissed Liam's forehead, whispering, Dad will protect you forever. I called Michael Hayes in Del Mar to confirm he'd received the recording and video. Ethan, this evidence is strong, he said. Sophie and Ryan have no chance if she sues for assets. I'll prepare the paperwork to ensure you keep Liam. His words eased me, but I still worried about the divorce's impact on Liam. He'd endured too much family stress. I decided to return to La Jolla one last time, to confront Sophie and grab more of Liam's things. At the La Jolla house, Sophie was in the living room, sitting with Ryan on the sofa. The air tensed as I walked in. Sophie glared. Doesn't he get it? Ryan mocked. I stayed calm, setting Liam's bag on the floor. Sophie, we need to talk, I said, voice firm. She crossed her arms, frowning. Talk about what? You left Ethan, sign the divorce papers, and leave me alone. I pulled the divorce papers from my bag, placing them on the table. I know you and Ryan took Liam's savings, I said, locking eyes with her. I also know you want the shared assets, thinking I've got nothing. You're wrong, Sophie. I won't give Ryan another cent. Sophie scoffed, standing. You're a fool, Ethan. You've been living off me. You're worthless. Sign the papers, or I'll make sure you lose everything. Ryan clapped, laughing. Yeah, sis. Kick him out. I shook my head, feeling the wife I loved was truly gone. Sophie, you don't understand, I said, voice low. I'm the CEO of a multi-million-dollar tech company. My assets are secure, And I have proof you and Ryan schemed to take money. Sophie froze, her face paling. Ryan jumped up, pointing at me. You're lying. You're just a low-life worker. I didn't answer, just pulled out my phone and played the recording of Sophie, demanding my bank card. Her voice rang clear. Ryan needs money. I'll take the shared assets after the divorce. Sophie trembled, trying to deny it. Ethan, you misunderstood. I just wanted to help Ryan. But I was done. Enough, Sophie. I won't sign, and I'm taking this to court. I gathered Liam's things, clothes, his red toy car and favorite books, and turned to leave. Sophie shouted, "You'll regret this, Ethan." But I didn't look back. I left the house, heart aching but relieved, knowing I'd done the right thing. Back in Oceanside, I told my parents everything. James gripped my hand. You're strong, Ethan. Now focus on Liam. Clara, eyes teary, hugged me. You're protecting our grandson. We'll get through this. I shared my decision to divorce, feeling no love left for Sophie after her actions, but I worried about Liam. He was young, and I feared the divorce would scar him. That evening, Clara made hamburgers, Liam's favorite. Around the dining table, Liam, smiling brightly, took a big bite and said, "Grandma's burgers are better than Mom's." His innocent words made us laugh, but they also moved me. Liam was finding joy, despite knowing our family was broken. I ruffled his hair, saying, "Grandma's the best, right, Liam?" He nodded, eyes sparkling. That moment solidified my resolve. I had to divorce to protect Liam, to let him grow up in a loving environment. I called Michael again, confirming I wanted to proceed with the divorce. "I don't want Liam near Sophie or Ryan anymore," I said. "They don't care about him." Michael reassured me. "You've got strong evidence, Ethan. I'll ensure you keep Liam." I hung up, feeling a weight lift, watching Liam play with Max in the backyard. I knew I'd chosen the right path. Sophie might try to apologize, but I no longer trusted her. I finally stepped through the family storm to find light. With Michael Hayes' support and evidence from the recording and camera, I won custody of Liam in the divorce from Sophie. The San Diego court ruled Sophie unfit to parent, due to stealing Liam's savings and scheming for assets. I returned to my CEO role at the Sorrento Valley Tech Company, leading it to thrive. But Liam, the boy with the radiant smile, made my heart whole. Sophie and Ryan faced consequences. Sophie's extended family, learning of their selfish actions, and Ryan's gambling debts at Verona, distanced themselves. Sophie tried calling to apologize, but I didn't answer. She chose Ryan over Liam, and I had no place for her in my life. I heard Sophie moved away, struggling, but I no longer cared. I just wanted Liam to grow up in love, not betrayal.